2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Morley or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Hey, podcaster. Well, if you heard yesterday's show, Liam called it the show of the year, but tonight was just as amazing and just as packed.
You didn't sound as convincing to me.
You didn't believe it. You got to say it with your chest, you know? Oh, that's actually, that's... I'm not going to say what Belle did, but that wasn't appropriate.
What you heard was me saying it with my chest. We got our Gorey stories because it's Friday. We also got a very good skit from Liam about the King starting his own music show. Plus, we asked, did you do a citizen's arrest? And did you try a new position? Wink, wink.
Previously on Ben, Liam and Belle.
Kylie, you've won 100 Dogecoin.
Go.
$34.67.
Very good.
Yeah.
If you hold that for the next 5 to 10 years, that could be worth double that.
And now, live across Australia, this is Ben, Liam and Belle.
Kylie, you got diamond hands?
Yeah.
Yeah!
She wants the tendies. She wants the tendies.
What are you talking about?
You don't get it. You're not a crypto bro.
Good evening, Australia. Thanks for joining us on your Friday night.
Kicking it off this evening, 13-24-10. Have you done a citizen's arrest or maybe have you witnessed one? Huge news of the last 24 hours. Just outside of Melbourne at Avalon Airport, a teenager jumped the fence and got onto a Jetstar flight with a knife. Didn't make it very far though because all the flight attendants and people on board absolutely jumped on him and got him out of there.
Especially Barry, the sheep shearer, who there's been in the news, bit of a legend's been doing a few interviews.
I thought he had a gun.
I thought it was a swan-off, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You said knife.
I thought it was a knife.
No.
No,
it was a knife.
it was even worse than that.
It was
yeah.
a gun.
Where did you get gun from?
Well, you'll have to ask the dude. But
the one I read today said, and I was like, that's very,
Yeah. Well, it is our responsibility in radio to come with the facts. And so we'll be tearing up your radio degree after this, and we'll be sending you back to the classes.
All right, 13-24-10 is our number. Megan in Sydney has given us a buzz. You witnessed a citizen's arrest.
Yes, I did. I was driving home one day late at night, and I went to park my car, and there were all these policemen. There was like 5 or 6 policemen on my street. There were sniffer dogs everywhere, and I stayed in my car for 30 minutes because I was literally shitting myself. I was like, oh my God, am I going to get arrested?
Yeah.
And then they came out with the guy in cuffs. He was literally just wearing a black tee, black shorts, and sandals, and he was arrested right then and there on my street.
Oh, hang on, Megan. You witnessed a real arrest.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
it can't be accepted. No, well, we're looking for citizens' arrest.
Oh, that's still a cool story. Megan, do you know why he was arrested?
Oh, I can't make any judgments, but yeah, I don't know.
Go on, do a judgment. Say what you reckon. Was it a drug house? It was a drug house, wasn't it?
Oh, Megan, thank you very much for sharing. Maddie in Melbourne, you witnessed a citizen's arrest. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I was at a mall late night shopping and it was about to close and a bunch of people just came running through all holding clothes and then just regular shoppers tackled them and held them down until security and police got there.
Whoa.
It's a big leap to make, isn't it, as the citizen, to see someone with some clothes and you go, I'm going to tackle them.
Yeah, I get it. You know, you see those horrible stories sometimes. There's like a violent thing and like people are like, they're like protecting other citizens. But it's like, yeah, if they're stealing some clothes from Kmart, like, do you deck them? Like, if you're just sitting there having your Wendy's shaken dog, do you go, I'm going to line this guy up?
I reckon you got to have a lot of testosterone in your body.
Big time. You got to want to hit someone that day, I reckon. No, you're dead right.
You're listening to Young Kings, Ben and Liam. Oh, yeah, Belle's there too.
Jelly Roll Liar Xavier on Nova. You are here with Ben, Liam and Bell.
We want to know on 132410, have you done or seen a citizen's arrest? We've got some amazing callers so far. Xavier in Melbourne, good evening. Did you see a citizen's arrest?
Yes, hey, that jelly roll was a track, but yeah.
Hey, you're into your jelly rolls, Xavier.
He's a fat boy. Anyway, so I was in Williamstown and I was just on the way to the beach last year, and this old lady was making a commotion. I walked over. I said, "What's wrong?" She was about to pass out, and she said, "There's someone spray painting." And I looked around. I went behind the train and. Yeah, these guys were just lighting up this train with all this spray paint.
Yeah.
And so I dropped all my stuff and I had my golden retriever with me, Pablo. And I looked at one of them and I said, "Mate," I go, "you better start running." I just wanted to get him, and then I ended up tackling him to the ground and called the police.
For graffitiing.
I'm just going to say, man, best caller of the year so far, I got to say. I'm loving your vibe. You can call anytime you want.
You have a open phone line policy. Feel free to call the show. You're a great vibe.
A golden retriever, Pablo. Oh, I love that, Xavier.
You know what? I'm going to give you a pack of Coco Loco. That's all yours.
Yeah! Thank you.
No worries, mate. Thanks for calling.
Simon, good evening. What's your citizen's arrest story?
Hey, how you going, guys?
Yeah, sorry, Simon. You don't have to match Xavier's energy. It's okay.
That's all right. No, what happened was I'm 53 now, but when I was 18, I was at home with my sister and her boyfriend, and he owned a Brocky Special Commodore. Anyway, he was parked outside, and we heard it start, so I bolted out. But what they didn't realise was that the gearbox was faulty and it didn't go from first to second.
Yeah.
And they tried to take off and stalled it.
Yeah.
And then they jumped out and ran, and I chased after them, and I tackled the guy from behind and took him back to the home. I had his arm around him and tackled him, took him back to home, and he was skewing up in the front yard because he was crapping his pants. And called the police, and they then came down. And we found out that he was actually just a mechanic, and his mate who he was with was the criminal. They actually eventually caught him later on. Anyway, he was arrested, and the police came down and took him away.
Real
wow.
time. I suppose if he was in the stolen car, he's still a crime, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always that. And the thing with citizen's arrest is, yes, there's the heroic tackle moment, but I imagine there is a lot of awkward chats in the, say, 10 to 15 minutes it takes for law enforcement to arrive.
Well, let's find out what happened with Nick in Melbourne. Did you do a citizen's arrest?
Well, it didn't quite work out as well as it was supposed to, I can tell you.
What happened?
There was a guy doing the wrong thing out of a jewellery store, which affected a friend of ours pretty badly, and so we kind of tried to sort of extract a bit of restitution to pay for the funeral, and I end up getting arrested sort of thing because these couple of muscleheads from a gymnasium thought that I was the villain, and before anyone could explain anything, these muscleheads had upended me and knocked the absolute crap out of me.
What's happening, Nick? I'm trying to work out.
So you got citizens arrested even though it wasn't you doing the crime?
Absolutely, because I'd been in trouble in the past, mate, you know?
Yeah, they cat profiled you.
You bloody got citizens arrested yourself. The muscleheads bloody knocked the crap out of you by the sounds.
It's a good story. Impressive you made that up on the spot as well and you told the cops, I didn't do it.
After BAFTA, it's the Ben, Liam and Bell podcast.
This is a real thing. There's a brand new podcast coming into your feed very soon.
Is it a Nova exclusive?
It's not a Nova exclusive, unfortunately. It's Apple Music. King Charles. It's called The King's Music Room. Here's the teaser.
Music has meant a great deal to me. It can lift our spirits to such a degree, and all the more so when it brings us together in celebration. In other words, it brings us joy. So this is what I particularly wanted to share with you. Songs which have brought me joy.
Yeah, so it's the King of England just talking about tunes that he likes. And you mentioned before Nova exclusive. Well, Ben, I've actually got a bit of a side deal with Apple Music, and I've actually managed to get my hands on the very first episode. It's not supposed to come out for a month, but we actually, here at Nova, get to listen to it first.
Hello, welcome to the King's Music Room. I'm your host, King Charles. All my life, music has meant a great deal to me, and I'm about to play you some of my favourite tunes. This first brother on a mad ting still. He's reppin' West London hard, innit? Bloods flow as mad smooth, you get me? His bars are cold. This is Band for Band, Central C with a little baby hopping on the track.
How does she squeezing them jeans? Big behind and petite this waist. Take time with a GBG, we don't beef nobody like GBK. Woke up on the wrong side of bed, so he's gonna get if I don't have my peace today. I love my young boy, I won't lead him straight. I'm stuck to little bro like PVA.
Real bad man like C on the King's Music Room. This next artist is bare lit right now, fam. Peep her behind too. That's a leng ting in it. Out of New York, this is Ice Spice with Delhi.
Baddies on baddies, they know how to move. Oodles on oodles, they know how to ooh. Bustin' that pack, going straight to the moon. Off the juice, acting loose. She a baddie, she showing her panty. She shake it like jelly.
Ice Spice, allow that. You're in the mix with Charles. Let's switch it up on him to some filthy grime now, innit? I've been on this man damn since I was a youth, swear down blood. He's a legend in the game, bruv. Man's one of the OGs of the grime scene, reppin' East London hard. His flow's mad heavy, proper deep voice too, innit? Not everyone's on him, but the real ones know. It's Flow down.
Brand new banners, I know it's all snakes and ladders. Bad attitude, no manners, you know it never matters. When gotta fly like daggers, athletes, Batman and rappers, a couple gangbangers. Gal, I got money on the mind, my team's always a target. We run the market, so we get the badders in line.
That flow got me sweating like my brother Prince Andrew. Thank you for listening to the King's Music Room, fam. And remember, like and subscribe so I can make bare peas. Anyway, until next week, safe.
You like that feeling in your ear holes? That's the Ben, Liam and Bell podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Morley or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Oi, stop gooning. The next bit's about to start. Ben, Liam and Bell's
Gorey Stories.
Yeah, we like getting stories that are gory on Friday. 13 24 10 is the number. If you've had a horrific injury, if you've witnessed one, you've got a story about it.
I think this started, correct me if I'm wrong, did this start last year during Halloween?
Yes.
We were talking about Halloween, we got gory stories, and then we loved them so much that we just do it every week now.
Some would say lazy.
But if you need an example of why we love it so much, here's just a few of our previous callers.
My brother was around about 10 years old, was walking along a corrugated iron fence, and what I could only describe was a thick bit of chunky steak that slipped up in my mother's face, and she could see right down to the bone.
On a four-wheel motorbike, the bike decided to flip on top of me. I broke my collarbone and I broke 3 ribs.
Death traps, aren't they? The old ATVs.
My 4-year-old daughter decided to go on her bike down the driveway, lost control, crashed into the tree, and the handlebar lodged into her leg, into her thigh. All the subcutaneous fat was hanging out.
It's the sound effects as well. 13 24 10. If you have a gory story. Taylor in Melbourne, good evening. This was your dad. What happened?
So my dad's a welder, so he was at work and he was using a polishing machine and he twisted his thumb off and obviously the adrenaline, it was just hanging by a piece of skin, and the adrenaline, he's telling the guy that he works with, he's like, don't worry about calling an ambulance, I'm fine. Meanwhile, his thumb's hanging down the side of his wrist.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
It's We need to just.
Yeah, I know, Taylor. So we never. Yeah, I'm glad you're finding the funny side. Because, we would have a real have a problem on our hands if not. Yeah.
So your old man polished his thumb off, basically.
Yeah. So literally like twisted his thumb off.
And you said it was hanging by a thread. Did he get it back on?
Well, he went to the hospital, and because he was high off the drugs they gave him, he's telling the surgeon, "Oh, just get rid of it. Just give me a stump. It's fine." And my mum's there, and she's like, "No, you won't. You'll put it back on." So they've put it back on, but it's like heaps shorter than his other thumb now.
Oh, wow.
Taylor, do people notice, or do you pretend not to notice?
Oh, you can't really notice unless he puts his thumbs next to each other. It just looks really short. Yeah,
unless he says something's cool and you all start laughing.
It's a shame you can never do a double thumbs up ever again.
Yeah, it's like kind of half-half. Brett, what about you? You've got a gory story.
I do have a gory story. When I was 16, I was on a skateboard and a friend said, would you like a tow by holding onto the handle of my car to the top of the hill?
Yeah, right.
And so I held on, and he thought I was enjoying myself so much that he kept on accelerating. I got up to about 80 kilometres an hour, hit a stone. The skateboard stopped underneath me, and I went face first straight into the road or into the tarmac.
Oh.
And I didn't realise how much damage I'd done, but when I came back home, the neighbours next door started screaming, and when I looked and I realised what I've done, I actually took my right elbow, my right eyebrow. It was sitting on my cheek.
Oh, what?
And so my eyebrow was sort of now on my cheek.
Yeah.
I had a hole above my lip and a hole below my lip that I could poke my tongue out of without opening my mouth.
Pretty gory.
Wow. And so because, again, like our previous caller, because of the adrenaline, you just didn't realise until you got that reaction?
Yeah, you had a face to gloving.
I walked down the street and I thought I'd done some damage, and it wasn't until I walked by a neighbour's house where she was actually at the front doing some gardening, and she just started screaming.
Yeah, I'm just saying, oh my God, it's awful, it's awful.
Well, Brett, you know what, mate? It's a pretty gnarly injury, but you have got yourself a 12-month KO subscription.
Oh, that sounds great.
It does. Doesn't it, Brett? It does.
It really does sound great. Andy joins us. What's your gory story, Andy?
When I was playing football in under 18s, I went up for Aussie rules. I was going up for a marking contest, and I came down a bit heavy on my opponent, and I actually received a compound fracture of my leg. So when the bone comes out of the leg, and it went into my opponent. Yeah, so I ended up with like screws in my leg, and he ended up with a tetanus shot. So it was a pretty good flash.
Dude. That's good, honest footy. Good, hard footy. You get in there.
Yeah, I got a pat on the back from Dad after.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, your shin went through his windpipe. That's how they did it back in my day, mate.
Andy, obviously you got up and ran it off, yeah?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, if it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep running.
Oh, that's enough gory stories for tonight. No more gory stories. Thanks, Andy.
The Ben, Liam and Bell podcast. It's very nice. I think I'll leave the impressions to Liam.
Second chance, second chance, second chance.
Second chance talk back on your radio.
Second chance.
Yep, this is where we get around to some of the calls that we haven't heard so far throughout the week. We did some fun phoners. Was your dad in a band? After we found out Belle's dad was in the Young Elders. Fly, Monica, fly, Monica, fly. What's the creative sledge you'll never forget? We also did your siblings stuff up overshadow yours?
Yeah, so if you heard us doing something throughout the week and you want to call up about it, 13 24 10, now is the perfect chance.
We'll kick it off with Fiona in Adelaide. Fiona, what happened on your first day?
Hello, yes. My first day at work, I started with the bank, and yes, we were involved in a robbery.
Whoa.
2 masked men come charging in with blue overalls, balaclavas, and I did hide under the counter and drop all the cash down the chute and did all the right things. And then I sort of must have moved under the counter as he was running, and he was grabbing money from my drawer, and he just sort of pointed the gun at me and said, "Yeah, you stay there, love. Don't move." So I will never forget those words.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
And to make it worse, it was my birthday.
Oh. I mean, we've all had bad birthdays, but getting a gun pointed in your face is...
Yeah.
Your first day of work.
Yeah, not ideal.
Thanks, Fiona. You have a great night.
We're currently doing Second Chance Talkback. Good evening, Christine. You worked for someone famous. Who was it?
Peter Andre.
Peter Andre?
For his family.
Peter Andre's family?
Yeah.
Doing what?
The head housemaid at the Coolamara Beach Resort in Bravey Island.
Whoa, mysterious girl, I want to be close to you. That song's not about you, is it, Christine?
Oh, no.
Mysterious girl, I want to get close to you.
Nice guy?
Yeah, he's nice.
You had to think about that.
Tisha, we're currently doing Second Chance Talkback. What ruined your romantic moment?
So, hubby had been begging me for a very long time to try a position called a lie back, which is where you lie back off the side of the bed. And I said yes after him asking for months. And gained the courage. I've laid back and he's gone to go down, and I've just seen his butthole and balls coming towards my face, pissed myself laughing in hysterics and could not do the act and have not attempted since then, and I still pick on him to this day for it. It was definitely a sight that I was not too keen to see.
No, I get you. Like, it's like in the first Spider-Man film when she kisses him upside down, but it's like, and that was beautiful. I got to say, that's still a very romantic scene, even all these years later. But what you saw, that's not good.
You're listening to Len, BM and Lel.
We thought we might get a little bit cheeky, a little bit naughty at the moment. We just had this amazing call from Tisha. We were doing Second Chance Talkback, and Tisha called in telling us about a new position her and her partner tried, and it didn't go so well.
Hubby had been begging me for a very long time to try a position called a lie back, which is where you lie back off the side of the bed. And I said yes after him asking for months, and gained the courage. I've laid back and he's gone to go down, and I've just seen his butthole and balls coming towards my face, pissed myself laughing in hysterics and could not do the act and have not attempted since then, and I still pick on him to this day for it. It was definitely a sight that I was not too keen to see.
No, I get you. Yeah, pretty full on. But that's why we're doing this.
Did you try a new position?
13 24 10. Did they ask you to try something? Maybe you just thought, not for me.
Yeah, maybe they said, how about we do a sour apple smoothie?
Oh my gosh, what is that?
I can't go into detail.
Sounds illegal.
okay.
Sounds like something you shouldn't talk about on the...
Baby, you want to do a space dock fondue?
What did you look up, Ben?
I didn't look up anything, Bill. I just know this off the top of my dome.
This is just Ben's top 3.
Do you want to do an Alabama Hot Pocket?
That sounds heinous.
Wow.
That I'm trying to think, and you know what? I'm going to stop thinking. 13 24 10. Did they ask you to try a new position? Maybe it didn't end so well, like Tisha's. Maybe it was great. Who knows?
Maybe they asked you to do an Alabama tuna melt.
That's what is that?
That one sounds worse somehow. Anything from Alabama, I don't want to try.
I think the tuna melt part is worse. What are you talking about? A hot pocket or a tuna melt?
No, look, it doesn't have to have a crazy zany name.
Gail joins us now.
Yes.
Did they ask you to try a new position?
Oh, yes, we did. We thought that we'd just be a little bit adventurous and go out and get on the bonnet of the car, which was parked in the driveway.
Okay.
Apart from slipping off the car, the next day I went into my neighbour's house and to have a coffee, and my kids were still at home in the backyard, and I could hear everything that my kids were saying. So clearly my neighbours were lucky enough to hear our little adventure on the bonnet of the car.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like a game.
It's definitely like, it's not so much position, more location.
And like,
Did you try our new location?
like, of all the places, you know what, honey? That bonnet's looking real good. It looks like it could support us. It'd be comfy. It'd be adventurous.
My bonnet's always covered in like bird shit and like it's not a nice place, you know?
Yeah.
Gail, how was it on the bonnet?
Yeah, it went well.
It went well.
Can I ask, Gail, what kind of car was it?
And that's the funny thing. It was a little Toyota Echo, so not much bonnet.
Not a lot of movement there on the old Toyota Echo, that's for sure.
And that's it!
Like that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Morley or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.